Hi everyone, how's it going? Sulky here, and today we're going to talk about the exterior housing glitch. If you didn't know, the housing glitch is when one of your villagers is leaving your island, and once a new villager moves in, they're stuck with the exterior of the previous villager's house. So this does not affect the interior of the house though. You're still going to be able to see their specific furniture, wallpaper, and flooring. It's just going to be the outside that's not theirs. So how does this occur? Well, it can happen for people who time travel and for those who play the game in real time. But it can only potentially occur when you've kicked out a villager from your island via amiibo or the campsite. So anyone can get this glitch under those specific circumstances. So say you have a camper kick out one of your current villagers. That villager will be in boxes after you leave the campsite. And let's call this day 1. And then the next day, the plot will be sold to the camper. And let's call this day 2. Then the following day, the camper will move in and their house will be there with them inside unpacking. Let's call this day 3. So basically what happens is when a villager is leaving and in boxes, you still see their house on your island, but you know that the next day they'll be gone and you'll have that empty plot. And day 2 is when you're actually going to see that empty plot on your island. And now that you have the empty plot that's sold to the camper, the next day a new villager will move in if you've kicked out that previous villager through amiibos or the campsite. Now it's on this day where it'll be determined whether or not you can potentially get this glitch. If you do not load into the game and see the empty plot, you'll be at risk for having the new villager take the old villager's exterior. So not loading into the game can mean one of two things. Either you've time traveled from day 1 straight to day 3 when the new villager's house is there and they're unpacking, meaning you've skipped day 2 where there's an empty plot. Or you play the game in real time and just didn't play for the day, meaning you didn't load into the game and see the empty plot, and the next time you sign in, you'll have your new villager there unpacking. So basically, to avoid this glitch, you're going to have to make sure that you load into the game every day when you have a new villager moving in. You want to make sure that you allow time for your previous villager's house to become an empty plot, because for some reason the game isn't registering the disappearance of their house and it isn't automatically replacing it unless of course it loads in the empty plot first. So with all of that said, there's of course going to be some people who already have this glitch and are looking for a fix. Well, I did some testing in my side account because right now I have Coach living in Sky's house. Here's his house, and this is what it was supposed to look like. So I wanted to try doing things that affect the villager's house. So the first thing I tried was gifting the villager a wreath to place outside their door. I sent this in the mail and then waited 2 days for Coach to finally put the item on his door, and unfortunately, as you can see here, when I loaded into the game, it didn't end up changing his house. And the only other idea I could come up with was talking to Tom Nook and getting permission to relocate Coach's house. I set his plot and waited until the next day to see if this helped. And moment of truth, it did not. So I did some Googling and it turns out that the only way to actually solve this issue as of now is by kicking that villager out. Now, this is not ideal if it was a random camper you found in your campsite and not an amiibo. You would have to go through the process of finding that villager all over again. If it's an amiibo, then you'll be fine because once you kick them out, you can begin the process of inviting them to your campsite all over again. It'll take 3 days to get them to agree to move in, but at least you'll still end up getting them in the end, and you can follow the steps I provided above to make sure that you don't get the glitch again. The only other situation I could think of that could potentially be beneficial to you if you had that random campsite encounter and do not have their amiibo is getting someone you trust who has an empty plot on their island to come pick up the villager when the villager has agreed to move out and is in boxes. That way, they can at least hold on to the villager for you, and then eventually when you have an empty plot and they have the villager ready to move out, you can go pick them up and get them back. Other than that, this seems to be something only Nintendo can fix at this point, so if you're experiencing this issue and do not want or cannot try doing what I just suggested, reach out to them and hope for a reply. I'm hoping that if enough of us bring this issue to their attention, they'll provide some update that fixes this issue. I'm kind of bummed that I haven't been able to find out a way to fix this glitch myself and help all of you out, and I know that some of you have been asking me to do a video on this, or if I know how to fix it, but hopefully this video was still helpful for those of you who haven't encountered the glitch yet, so you can at least know what to do to avoid it. And for those of you who haven't, I'm sorry I couldn't help you out, but I do hope some of my suggestions were helpful for you and you can rectify the situation by kicking the villager out and getting them back later on from a friend. Anyway, if you're new here, please consider subscribing for more Animal Crossing New Horizons content and hit the bell so you can be notified every time I put out a new video. Remember to leave a like and a comment and let me know if you have any other ideas for fixing this issue. As always, thank you for the support and I will see you soon.